Wick.
Hey, Tice, how you going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm not bad.
That's
I'm
excellent to
a little
hear.
tired, but hey.
Me too, bud.
Dude.
I'm feeling it.
It's
a week.
It's the end of the week.
Yeah, it is the end of the week.
We try to
and
do
it's
our best.
pretty late for us.
It is, isn't it?
It's Nick Tyson Videotape After Dark, the Blue special.
The Blue special.
We're going to be reading your fan fiction
How
live.
you going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Nick Tyson Videotape.
We've got a tasty little bit of fan fiction about Spock and Captain Kirk coming your way.
If you haven't, no, it's not Spock. We're not doing Spock. We're not doing Star Trek. If you like Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme, we're your well, not Jean-Claude, Tommy Lee Jones.
That's it.
There you go.
We've got some nice fan fiction about Gary Busey coming your way. No, today on the show we are talking 1992's
Under Siege, baby. One of my favourites.
Steven Seagal's arguably best movie.
I think it's his best. Well, it's critically his best. Hilariously enough, Tyson Under Siege was nominated for an Oscar.
Just the one?
Just the one.
For sound editing or sound mixing?
I believe it was. To be honest, I haven't looked
It'd be
into
editing because
It'd be
it's all the
gunshots
and explosions and shit.
But we'll get into that later.
We will. But yes, like I said, it's episode number... Well, shit, what episode is it?
73.
73 of Nick Tyson Videotape.
Welcome.
Welcome. If this is your first time joining in, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
We're testing out some new equipment tonight.
So if we sound a bit bung, it's not our fault.
It's not our fault. We probably should have test run what we're going to use more, or Tyson should just buy equipment that doesn't fuck up.
Upgrade his shit. Yeah,
exactly.
He'll get there. Shit, leave him alone.
Hey,
he brings you 73 episodes of decentness.
That's of adequate podcast.
Adequate podcasting. Exactly. Exactly.
If adequate podcast sounds like your kind of thing, listener, Nick, why don't you tell us where?
Ladies and gentlemen, if adequate
show.
Podcasting is your thing and Tyson and Nick is your man, well then thank you for joining in. That's badass. If you would like to share us around, we are on most of the places you find podcasts.
Most of the good ones.
Exactly, including YouTube. If you're a YouTube fan, I actually had someone. They heard about me having a podcast to work, and they were like, "Oh, are you on YouTube?" I was like, "Yes."
Great.
And I asked, "Do you listen to them? You really don't use an app?"
That was probably that one view that we had.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. Bastards. But other than that, if you would like to follow us socially, we are on the Facebook, we're on the Twitter, we're on the Instagram, and if you would like to write us in, if you have any questions or queries that you would like us to answer, such as, I don't know, what does Tyson put in his beard to make it look really nice and shiny?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I have things. I would be happy to explain that to anybody if they wish.
If you're after facial hair maintenance, Tyson is your man. And,
I am at the moment.
You can write.
Absolutely. Actually, not so much maintenance. This is the evidence of little maintenance.
The maintenance? Well, it looks boss.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But yes, we have an email. You can email us at nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com. I spell Nick N-I-C and Tyson's T-Y-S.
And look, for a bit of a sample of the kind of letters we do receive, you can always tune into last week's episode, our Mailbag Special Volume 2.
Yeah.
If you did happen to write a letter in and you got to hear that episode, I hope you liked it.
Yeah, I hope we answered some questions. Yeah.
We definitely answered some questions.
We answered some.
It cannot be said that we didn't answer some questions last week.
And I looked into that episode. That's getting a bit of a run, that episode. I was like,
really?
oh, okay.
Hello.
Look at that.
Well,
but other than that, Tice, shall we talk some trailers?
Yes.
Let's start it off proper. Here we go.
Everybody's talking trailers.
All right.
I'm
not sure if my levels are coming through well.
Oh, okay. Let's make sure that that's happening, because I don't like that. I like our listeners to hear both of us.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out at the end.
We will find out.
When Tice goes to edit this, listens through it for 30 seconds and goes, it's
it'll
good.
do.
It's good.
For evidence of my editing habit, if you happen to listen to the episode last week on the day it released, you would have heard some strange things happening.
Yeah.
Which was, that's evidence of me editing on the fly and trying to do a quick one. Thinking, it'll be fine, and of course, made a fucking meal of it.
It'll be fine. Look, Tice gets very pissed. He has a couple of shots,
mate,
and downs
I'm so
a pizza,
drunk,
and he's
all
like,
the time.
Exactly.
That's just how I live my life, buddy.
And he's like, hey, it's fucking, $20, forget about it.
So, talking trailers, my man.
Talking trailers. What are we doing first? Should we do Outlaw King
Yeah,
first?
let's do that first.
Yeah, all right.
Thinking about revenge.
Where's Robert? Where's your husband?
It tears at the soul.
Where's your brother?
But it can also be a weapon.
I'm done with running and I'm sick of hating.
Power is making decisions. And whatever course you are charting, I choose you. My husband.
We need to unite Scotland.
Robert the Bruce is an outlaw. Any man or woman who would give shelter to him or his ranks is to be executed without trial.
The people are desperate for justice.
I serve Robert Bruce! Join us to free our
So I'm pretty excited about this movie, I'm going to be honest with you.
It is.
Funnily enough, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago where I said I was stop talking about Netflix movies. We're doing 2 Netflix movies today.
We are.
Because we're excited about both of these.
Exactly.
And I think
you've got to have some, leniences. Like when Annihilation came out, that didn't look like a Netflix
Well, the thing
movie.
about Annihilation is everywhere except, well, actually, US had a wide cinematic release, and it was a big time cinema release there. Everywhere else, it went straight to Netflix.
Okay.
So that kind and this is similar for this film for Outlaw King, is that it's actually getting a small cinematic release, and I believe it's the opening night film for Venice or even Berlin Film Festival.
Oh, okay.
One of them.
Decent.
Or Toronto.
Nice.
I don't know. Whichever one's coming up soon.
One of the 3 big ones.
One of the big ones.
Yeah.
And directed by Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan. Yeah.
From Hell or High Water.
Decent.
Which is a film that we both really
loved.
enjoyed.
Yeah.
We talked about that a couple of years ago. I think
We
it popped
did.
up in our favourite of the year lists.
Mm-hmm. It got nominated, and
and we did talk about it around Oscar time as well, because it was one that I really responded to when I saw it.
It was a dark horse, Ty.
It was.
I thought it would have taken more things, more gongs.
It was one of those funny ones that I really wasn't confident it was going to win anything, but if it did, I knew I would be really happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, oh great, what
Your money's
an
not
awesome
banking
choice.
on it, but if it does, then badass. Yeah. And I like that. What is the actor's name?
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine. I like that he's diversifying because he does have that. Hilariously enough, he does have that Captain America look about him.
Yes, he does.
He is that.
Well, I mean,
Kirk.
as Steve Trevor in Wonder Woman, he was perfect. He
exactly.
was the perfect, American old boy. Like he looks classic.
He does. Old school Hollywood.
Yeah.
Blue eyes, blonde hair, very, very boyish looking.
Yes,
not
but very,
mannish
but
looking.
very handsome though.
Very handsome fella.
And I like him. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah, especially after Hell and High Water. That was
and this is he's one of those actors that I think keeps surprising me because I think if you had told me that the guy that was in Just My Luck with Lindsay Lohan, is that the one he's in? He's in one of them. He's in a Lindsay Lohan comedy, I think, from like 2004-ish.
Yeah.
If you had told me that guy was going to be Captain Kirk and was going to be like one of an actor that I'm actually really excited to see in films,
man.
I would not have believed
You'd
you.
be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll be right.
Nah, I'll be good. Even doing This Means War. Like that was that after the first? Yeah, that was after the first Star Trek. I want to watch
cast,
that.
I've heard it's garbage, but that's a great cast. Tom Hardy,
right?
Chris Pine, and is it Reese Witherspoon?
Reese Witherspoon,
great,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Bring it on.
So
Smoking Aces. Yes, you're right. Just My Luck.
Just My Luck. 2006. Yeah. So only 12 years ago, my man. He was, a fresh young face hoping to make it big, and was
next to
probably
Lindsay Lohan and riding the coattails of Lindsay.
Well, that's what it is. He probably wrote a letter home to mum and dad, and like, I'm going to be in a Lindsay Lohan movie.
Oh, Jesus, no one's doing that. No one's
doing
that.
No
one's doing that anymore.
You're not telling anybody if you're in a movie with Lindsay Lohan now. You're keeping that on the down low.
No, that's not true. I know for a fact that when Kevin Bacon wraps a movie, everyone of the cast normally at the wrap party will play Footloose.
Oh, good call.
And he knows that it's coming because it's a thing now.
Sure.
People at the wrap party of Chris Pine's movies, they're putting on the Lindsay Lohan movie. They're like, dude, what are you doing?
I thought you meant that at the end of a Lindsay Lohan movie, they play that. These are confessions of a broken heart.
No one's doing that.
Remember that song?
Yeah, I do. Good Lord.
What a banger.
That got people on the dance floor, that one.
Oh, mate.
Jesus.
Got me up and about, I'll tell you that.
But Outlaw King, Tyson, this is very remnants. I know why you like it, because it's very remnants of a little bit of, it's sort of like a Braveheart.
Well, it's definitely Braveheart because
Hood
it's the story of the character from Braveheart.
Right.
Played by, is it Angus McFadden?
I haven't seen Braveheart in ages.
It's the guy it's Robert the Bruce.
Robert the Bruce.
Who in Braveheart is the character that initially makes a deal with William Wallace.
Yeah.
And then betrays him on the battlefield. And
bastard.
yeah. And then has a change of heart and is the guy that ends up leading the Scottish people to a legitimate freedom.
You're right, Angus McFadden. Jesus.
McFadden.
Tune in to Nick Tyson Videotape. I tell you what, Tyson knows his shit.
About Braveheart. That's like it's
Yeah, but who the fuck knows?
No,
What common man knows who Angus McFadden is? Come on.
Look, he hasn't done much. Is it definitely Angus McFadden? Who's his brother?
100%.
He's got
Angus
a brother.
McFadden. Does he have a brother? I don't know. Oh, he was in Equilibrium. That's why I know him.
Oh yes, he's the. Hang on.
He's the head dude.
Yeah, see, I get him confused with something else as well. So yeah, I mean, it's obviously got really strong Braveheart vibes because we're dealing with the same character, but it's actually like on a like photography point of view as well. It kind of looks like it's going for a similar vibe. Like, I know that sounds dumb. Like, you set a historical war epic in Scotland, they're all going to have a kind of similar. Yeah. The overcast sweeping plains of Scotland, but
which are lovely, by the way.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like, there's just an energy about it that seems really interesting that I am 100% on board for. I think because of is it Taylor or Tyler Sheridan? Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan.
Okay.
Hang on a minute. Are you saying that that's who the director is?
Yeah.
Oh, Tice.
Am I wrong?
David Mackenzie, mate.
Sorry, Tyler Sheridan's the guy that wrote Hell or High Water.
Yes.
David Mackenzie is the guy that directed Hell or High Water. I do apologise.
That's all right. Wow, one off. Look, that is a first on Nick Tyson video. You're very rarely going to hear Tice get that wrong.
Yeah, no, look, it happens a lot. I just
it doesn't happen on air. That's all.
David Mackenzie. Director of Hell or High Water.
Yes.
So I am very interested in his... Is it his follow-up to that? He hasn't done anything since then?
I don't think he has. He's only done 19 things. Yeah. Last one was Hell or High Water, 2016.
So, I mean, that's obviously got me very interested.
Yeah, that means he's worked on it a while, Tice. That's one that's cooked.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, I love a good cooking of film, not food. Guess who's in this?
Eating, I could take or leave.
Watching
movies, though.
Watching movies, I'm all for.
I'm all about it.
Cullen Mulvey, Tice.
Oh, Drazik
is showing his face in this.
Do you know what? I'm loving the Hollywood conquering, the slow conquering of Hollywood
burn
by Drazik.
Bring it on.
And I love that it only happened after he had his face fucked up.
I know, because he looks so fucking boss now.
Yeah, because he's got wicked scars and stuff. And he was awesome. Like, I mean, nobody who watched Heartbreak High.
Yeah. He was the heartthrob, wasn't he?
No one doubted that he's easily the best thing on that show.
Yeah, yeah.
Except for maybe...
I only watched 2 episodes. Everyone else at school told me about it, though.
I watched it. Religiously.
Religiously. I was more of a...
Ada Nicodemu was on that show, I believe, as well. And she's gone on to better things.
She has, yeah.
And some of the teachers were like... Were kind of well-respected Australian actors. Yeah. But it was always... You just knew Drazik was going to make it. Like, you just knew, and I'm so glad he's done it.
What was the Canadian kids show that I watched?
Canadian kids show.
Yeah, yeah.
You mean
high school?
Yeah, Degrassi.
Degrassi, yeah. That was my
Degrassi's awesome,
dude. All over.
So good.
All over.
Go back and watch Degrassi now.
Oh no,
no.
Really?
It's fine.
Really?
Oh, like it's not great.
Yeah.
It's pretty low budget and the acting's pretty piss poor. But I can't believe
the themes
that I was watching it as like a 12-year-old and not thinking I was being naughty or something. Like,
oh really?
Even in the first episode, it's like. They hit you hard and fast.
Yeah.
It's like
there
straight
was
away.
Warnings at the start saying if you are over 12, you can... No, if you are over 11 or something, you're allowed to watch this.
Over 11?
I used to tell my brother to leave the room. I was so glad that there was something aimed at my age group that I could go, Dan, you have to leave because I want to watch Degrassi. See you, mate. You have to go in the other room. What an arsehole.
That's pulling rank.
I know,
right
seriously.
There. I love it.
And my brother's like, I'm not moving. You can get fucked.
Suck it up. I'm going to learn about sex and drugs and pregnancy and suicide and
pedophilia. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, the episode they had to look after the eggs as if they were babies.
Yeah. Who was your fave? I think Spike was my fave. She was cute.
Spike was awesome.
Yeah.
Who was...
But everyone...
Snake,
yeah. Tall dude.
The tall dude, he was alright.
He was alright. Everyone loved the girl, though. What was her name?
Caitlin.
Oh, dude. Everyone liked Caitlin. Everyone. You can't not like her.
She was just the normalest one. Like, do you know what I mean? She was just kind of the quiet, underachieving. She was
the popular girl in school.
Kind of popular, but not an awful person.
Popular. Yeah, she wasn't a mean girl.
She was just the one that flew under the radar the whole time.
Exactly. I'm going to watch Degrassi again.
I'm glad.
But I will watch Outlaw King. Because
we haven't talked about this movie anywhere near enough.
And this is why I like this. I love that we're doing this.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's...
Bring it on.
I think... potentially could be end of year featuring if it's
Really?
received well enough. Dude, it's a historical epic directed by a respected director
Yeah, fair deal.
whose last film had multiple Academy Award nominations. I think we could be talking
What?
like actual contender
Awards?
Yeah, for sure.
See, this is the thing. This is where I kind of have to, because it's on Netflix only, I kind of underrate it a little, and that's not.
And that's you're 100% correct.
Should I do this?
Of course.
I don't think I should though.
No. But in the eyes of the Academy, Netflix is
the underdog.
Is dirty, kind of Netflix.
That's hard. Fuck off.
Which is why I think this is why that they're taking it to these festivals, and it's so. If it has kind of the credibility that you can't ignore, suddenly the Oscars, the Academy start to look like they have to, start responding to these films.
Exactly.
Yada, yada, yada.
Well,
I think it's only a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, after our discussion of 2 weeks ago where they're just going to chuck in another category, they should.
VOD awards.
They should. Oh, God, Jesus.
Could you imagine?
That's terrible.
Best streaming entertainment.
Streaming film.
No.
Pass.
Hard pass.
Hard pass.
I'm going to say this though, Nick.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if it gets a cinema run here,
which it could
potentially be a cinema go, because I love a good historical war epic. I'm a huge fan.
Massive.
Having said that, if it goes straight to Netflix, popping that bad boy on the day it comes out, because that is,
dude, bring it on.
That is a way to enjoy an evening.
That is
sitting back with a nice, and I hope it's like 2.5 hours at
really?
least. I hope it's like one of those old school 90s, like
massively long dances with wolves, motherfuckers. Jesus,
where you're just like you're sitting on the couch and you're like, all right, here we are. I am here
Double
for
box.
a while. I like it.
I do love a movie like that.
Yeah, you get a doona, you maybe have some food,
exactly.
You have a cup of tea, a couple of drinks.
You have a break, you go pee, you get more Maltesers, go again.
Wonderful.
Dude.
I'm all about it.
That sounds like a ball of time. I'm up for it.
All right. Next.
The next one is Hold the Dark, Tice. Yes. And the reason that this
we'll stop there for 1 second.
Oh, sure.
Dear Mr. Core, 3 days ago my son Bailey was taken by wolves. No one in the village will hunt them. My husband will come home from the war soon. I must have something to show him. So you come to kill it? To kill the one that took him?
I came to help if I can. To explain this if I can.
It's not the first time people died out there. The hillside is scattered with pieces of bodies.
That's what you get when you talk to the villagers.
People are dying. Now it's real enough.
Leave us to the devils.
And that's where the trailer
went. Jeremy Solner.
Yeah, I don't want to go out on a limb, but I think it's Saulnier.
Saulnier? Oh, okay.
I don't know, though. I might be making that up.
That's all right. Look, we don't know things. Look.
I could be completely wrong, actually. I think I'm just going out on a limb because I read his name. Has it got a little umlaut thing on it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so I'm totally making it up.
Yeah.
Saulnier.
But the reason that this caught Tice's eyes is because this is the director and writer.
Yes.
No.
Yes. No, he hasn't written this one.
He didn't write this one.
Interesting.
Of Tyson's favourite movie and Nick's growing fave, Green Room.
Yes.
The Green Room?
Just Green Room.
Just Green Room.
So yeah, definitely it was a toss-up between two of the most contrasting films you could ever imagine of that year, which was Sing Street and Green Room from my favourite films of the year.
Yeah. Wow, polar opposites there.
But
Jesus Christ.
that says everything you need to know about me as a moviegoer, I think, right there.
That's awesome.
Can you tell me then, who wrote Green Room?
Who wrote Green Room? That's a good question.
I'm under the impression that he writes and directs
his own things.
His own stuff.
Which is always good when you come from a director's side. He did write that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wrote Hold the Dark, if you don't mind me asking?
That would be Macon Blair.
Oh, Macon Blair.
Macon Blair. And based on a William, I can't even say that last name, book.
Macon Blair is one of his kind of
regular actors. He was in Green Room.
Yeah, he was in Green Room.
Yeah,
he was in Blue Ruin. He was the lead in Blue Ruin.
I need to see Blue
And Macon
Ruin.
Blair, if I'm not mistaken, can you have a quick squiz for me again? Wrote and directed a film that I really enjoyed from last year called I Don't Feel at Home in this world anymore.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Which had real kind of, like, you can see that they've influenced each other a lot. So that essentially means that
sort of a dark feel of, because this, I remember you speaking about this, and it wasn't it was borderline dark comedy, like it was.
It had black comedy elements to it for sure, but the blackness in it ran really deep.
Yeah, decent.
So that gives me a lot of
nice of hope,
a lot of confidence going into this film.
What is it? Hold the Dark.
Hold the Dark.
Well, this trailer, coming off just watching it. It's a woman who is it set in present day? I wouldn't know.
Who knows?
To be honest, it doesn't matter.
No.
Her kids go missing, and the town that she lives in just assumes that she was taken by wolves, and that is it. And she asks Jeffrey Wright.
I mean, why would you assume anything else?
I'd love to live in a town where that kind of shit is just the fucking norm.
Oh, the wolves got him again.
The wolves have taken him. Because you're not going to get that back. I'm like, what? Fuck off.
Yeah, every time you ring the police, I think someone stole my backpack. Wolves.
Yeah, it's the wolves.
Yeah,
wolves again.
Sorry, man, the wolves.
Sorry about that.
What are you gonna do?
We can't do anything.
We can't do nothing about them wolves. We tried.
But Jeffrey Wright is sort of a hunter and goes after...
He's a wolf expert.
And goes after these kids or tries to find out what's happened. Now, in that, it has a lot to do with...
This could have been a sequel or a prequel to The Grey.
Oh, I still
Liam Neeson's character.
Yeah. But Alexander Skarsgård rocks up in this thing.
Yes.
And a little bit of mystery comes about. You feel that like maybe it's sort of a village type deal where the town is kind of in on this.
Yes. Okay. So this is
you know what I mean? Like it's hitting those points.
It's a wolf cult, is what I'm putting my money on.
It's a wolf cult. Look, it's a wolf cult movie.
Yeah. That's what I'm putting my money on.
Well, they put on masks as well.
Yeah, so I think they worship the wolves as gods.
Okay.
Or
and
or they sacrifice things to the wolves, and the wolves bring them prosperity.
Okay. Oh, that's always good.
It's
like planting your money in the ground for wealth. And hopefully that will come back to you. And clearly that does fuck all, doesn't it? Well done, you champ. All those dumbasses back in the 60s. Oh, yeah, I've planted like $4 grand underneath my house.
What are you talking about? My money tree's on its way. I'm watering that bad boy every day. Next summer.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I want to see this. Watching this trailer, it made me not only want to see Green Room again, but put Blue
Ruin
on my radar as well.
Yeah, it's hard to come by for us. We can rent it,
really?
but it's not really on any of the streaming services.
But would you rate it up there with Green Room? Like,
I haven't seen it, to be honest.
You haven't seen it?
No, I've heard really great things about it. It's I believe it's a revenge film.
Yep.
But a very
because he's got a very dark streak running through him.
Yes.
A director coming off, if he's writing and directing Green Room, that is a mess.
But you got to think though, even in Green Room, there's a wicked little sense of humor through it.
Oh yeah,
that I really love. You don't expect to have as much fun with a movie like Green Room as you do.
So true.
Like I had a ball watching it, and I know I'm terrified, I'm grossed out, I feel kind of dirty afterwards.
But it's not terrified like horror movie terrified. You're terrified because these are real human beings and this shit could possibly happen.
That's probably more terrifying to me than any kind of supernatural horror movie. Because that shit just gives you chills.
But yeah, the humor that you are talking about, which I love, and the bit that I remember is that one of the band members that after everything is said and done and they have dealt with Patrick Stewart, he literally just talks to him and goes, wow, that was a night, wasn't it? And and that's it. And they kind of just breathe and just let that scene just happen, and you kind of get washed over.
There's another little piece of quite fun dialogue, which is relevant to earlier in the film. But I think when in a movie like this, I mean, it is like just dripping with atmosphere in this trailer. You can feel like that it's going to be one of those movies where you are constantly trying to sort out in your head what is going on. It feels like it could have a really kind of not fantasy element to it, but maybe slightly kind of alternate reality kind of sense where even the language feels a little bit interesting, and like we're living in not an entirely realistic environment.
Exactly, it feels isolated. It feels, and that's why I got Village vibes, because it feels like they've isolated themselves and made their own type rules. Yep. Those who wear red can't, I don't know, go out after midnight.
Don't wear the bad colour, Nick.
Exactly.
Don't wear the bad colour.
Don't wear the bad colour, right. You have to wear the yellow. Is it yellow?
Is the yellow the safe colour or the
Yellow's
bad colour?
Yeah, no, yellow's the safe.
Okay,
one.
red's the bad colour.
I have to watch it.
That
again.
makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick one.
Don't pick that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I get a lot of... Remember Ravenous? Was it Ravenous with...
Yeah, look, I
It's
saw
the
that on
dark,
VHS
gritty...
back in like 1999, and I
awesome.
couldn't tell you anything about it now.
It was awesome.
I know it's got Guy Pearce,
Guy Pearce, yeah.
Robert Carlyle.
Yep.
And they eat
Watch it
each
again.
other.
It's decent.
All right.
Yeah. That's all I've got. Okay, take it easy, everyone. I'll see you later.
If I can leave one parting piece of knowledge as my legacy, it's that Ravenous is an okay movie. Peace out.
Oh, fuck. Look, it's late, all right? You're going to get a different Nick Tice.
It's going to be a wild show, I think, man. I think we're going to be loose.
Exactly.
I don't know what else to say about this. I just feel like when sometimes we just watch good trailers and it's kind of like, wow, this looks really good.
You don't need to. Yeah, but you don't need to say anything.
There's not really much else to say about
that's
it
the
other
thing.
than.
But that's why we tell people, because we tell people you should watch this trailer. Make up your mind. Tell us what you think.
And you know what? I think what's happened as well with this week is that there are the pedigree of those involved. Has piqued my interest regardless.
Right.
You know, so these trailers could be horseshit. They could be awful.
Yeah.
And I'd still be like, oh well. It's Jeremy Salton, yeah.
I'm going to see it.
I'm going to see it.
Yeah,
I am
exactly.
going to see it.
Exactly.
Because he made my favourite movie of 2 years ago. Like, that's pretty rare, you know, like for someone to, it's the same thing. John Carney. Is it John Carney? Sing Street? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch anything he makes
Anything
now.
he brings out. Exactly. See, mine's a bit too mainstream. Mine's David Fincher. But still... If what is
But when you see a trailer for a Fincher film, it could be a black screen saying the new film from David Fincher.
Oh, that could be it.
I mean, think about remember the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trailer, and it was just flashing words and like barely any decipherable images whatsoever.
Yeah,
but you're just like, well, it's David Fincher. I'm going to watch the shit out of this.
Exactly. It's the same with Duncan Jones. If Duncan Jones brings out something,
poor Duncan Jones, though, he's having a bad run.
He's not having a good run, but still, I'm going to watch. I've Warcraft is on the thing. I'm going to see Mute.
I heard Mute's not much good.
Yeah, I haven't heard Mute's that good either. But I'm going to watch it. Come on, Paul Rudd.
And I am an apologist for Warcraft.
You do. You back Warcraft, don't you?
I had a good time.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've seen it.
Hey, fuck it.
I've seen it like a few times.
Whoa, okay, whoa.
Yeah, because I saw it at the cinema and was...
Whoa!
And this is... Yeah, I know, right?
Really?
I went... Because I had a couple hours to kill.
Did you play Warcraft?
On a work day. No.
Wow, okay.
I had to... This is just a roundabout story.
Random.
I had a gig at school, but nothing to do from 3:30 till 7 when the gig was.
Right, well, yeah.
So I drove down the road to the cinema. I was like, hey, what can I see at 4:15 that'll get me out about 6:30?
Yeah, fair
I'm like,
deal.
oh, Warcraft.
Great.
Done. So I did it. There was maybe me
I
and
wish I
3
had
other
that
people in the
time.
cinema.
Yeah, of course.
It's the one time in my entire 8 years of teaching at this school that I've had the opportunity to do this.
Yeah.
Barely anyone else in the cinema. But I remember because I was like, oh, fuck, all right, Warcraft, I've heard it was garbage.
Yeah.
I was literally like looking around at other dudes in the cinema being like, is anyone else... I'm having a really good time. Is anyone else really enjoying this, or is it just me?
Is this shit? This isn't shit.
Is this just like... Is it because I was so excited to be seeing a movie on a school day that like anything would have been good?
They could have played a fucking Lindsay Lohan rerun, Tice, and you'd be like, how good is...
This girl's got talent.
Is this movie?
These twins.
They've got something going on.
What was it?
I forget what it was called.
Hey, this Parent Trap.
Parent Trap,
movie,
that's
this
it.
ain't bad. Dennis Quaid is on fire.
Parent Trap, it's the same actress. You wouldn't believe it.
You wouldn't believe it. Because they're such different characters.
That's hilarious.
No, but I enjoyed it so much that I went and bought the Blu-ray. I was like,
whoa, what? Of Warcraft?
Of Warcraft. So I bought it when it came out and I've watched it on Blu-ray. So I'm a fan.
Okay, fair. Well, okay.
I shouldn't admit that loud.
No, you get no. Come on, back.
Like what you like, people. Like what you like.
Stand behind what you like. You know. In saying that, though, I think someone should buy Tyson the game so he can, feel the full circle.
I have no interest. Like, no interest at all.
I know.
In playing
and
Warcraft.
that's why I said it.
Not even a littlest bit. I get bored after like 5 minutes.
Oh, really?
I've had inclinations before. You know when you just go, I'm going to play one of these like civilization games.
Oh,
when
yeah,
it's like I'm going to build an army and I'm going to do stuff and I'm going to invest in it and I'm going to put some real time into this and I'm going to become a king. I play, and as soon as like I have to build harvest a second run of crops because everyone's going to starve. I'm like, I'm out. I'm done. I can't do it. I'd be the worst king in the world.
I don't. I do the same thing with Sin City if I've like fucking years ago. But you build up your town, and then when you run out of money, you're like, okay, fair deal. Where's the disaster button? Because you push disasters, and a monster comes through.
That's it. And suddenly it's fun again.
And you're like, yeah.
I don't want to know about fucking your
Put out those fires.
roads need repairing and
I don't care about that.
hospitals are dilapidated.
Exactly.
It's like, come on,
We're
man.
not politicians here.
Exactly. It's a computer game. I don't want to live these.
Exactly.
It's enough real
Where are
shit
the zombies?
to deal with.
Bring on the zombies. Is there a zombie apocalypse button? Push that.
Oh, you know there would be now. Of course there would be.
All right. Well, Tice, that's
Hold the Dark.
look, Hold the Dark and Outlaw King. They're rad trailers. Watch them.
Oh man, we are on tangents.
No, I like it
this evening.
I like it. This is where I like it fast and loose. Well, with
both
what
those
would
things.
what would you expect when we're talking about Under Siege?
Oh mate,
one of the the best of
You want to
1992.
talk fast and loose.
Well, shall we get to Under Siege, Tice?
I think we should.
Okay.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right. I hope that stinger was in the right place this week.
Steven Seagal.
Oh, my good friend Steven Seagal.
Seagal. No ponytail, Tice. 1992. What is your
hey, well, this
memory?
is our first Steven Seagal movie.
This is our first Steven
We're
Seagal.
going to end up talking a little bit about Steven Seagal.
It is. It's been he's the second rung, isn't he? Underneath the 80s, because he was around in the 80s. Yes.
I want to say 88 or even 89.
Wow,
He's pretty late to the game in the 80s, I
Okay.
think. I want to say 88
Yeah.
for was Nico his first one?
Nico, yeah, I think it was, which is the same director as this, I believe.
No, Andrew Davis did not direct Nico, did he?
Did he? Well, Andrew Davis did. Whoa, there's something on me. Hang on, wait a second.
Wait a second.
I can't do two things at once.
Wait a second, people.
So Above the Law.
It's Above the Law first.
98, yeah.
88.
88.
Yeah, that
88,
Nico
yeah.
Above the Law. 88.
And yes, Andrew Davis.
Get out of town.
Yeah. I knew I read that somewhere. Get out of town.
You get out of
Pam
town.
Grier. God.
Is Nico Above the Law really his first one then?
His first movie,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's not a bad movie.
Nico Above the Law.
It's not.
It's the one that I've wanted to watch.
You got a pube on your mic?
No, it's just a fucking fluff, and it keeps coming into my face. Fuck off! God damn it! Hard to Kill, Nico, and what's the other one? What's
Out
the one
for
with
Justice?
the one with the leather jacket? No. Out for Justice. I don't want to watch.
Out for Justice isn't bad.
Is it? Is that the one that's not bad?
It's better than
On Deadly Ground.
Okay.
Because then you get
let's
into
try
real
to let's
shit.
try to avoid a still Steven Seagal retrospective because we'll end up
it's
talking
just
for hours.
Shit hours.
Look,
But yeah, the
his
first
four.
four.
What's the fifth one?
So Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death.
Marked for Death is hard work.
Okay, and then Out for Justice, and then
Out for Justice ain't
Under
bad.
Siege.
Right.
Yeah. So it's not. He had a decent. Well, he was a 90s dude. Second rung. I rate him under Jean-Claude.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because he's got no skills, none.
Well,
nothing.
Okay,
he's
so
bringing nothing to the table.
what do we call this form of martial arts? Does it have a name? Is it like Bushido? Or
I don't know my martial arts
or
as
something?
well. It's not Krav Maga.
No, it's definitely not that because he has his martial arts is basically based around like awkwardly slapping people in the face when they go to punch him. Do you know what I mean?
Why is it awkward?
Because he somehow makes
Why is it awkward?
he has this thing where he makes everyone look awkward. Like I think the whole goal of his martial art style,
I think it's
whatever it
using
is,
their momentum
it's
against them.
using their body weight in ways that make them go ooh because they don't expect it. Yeah. So and he just gives them a little slap on the face on the way through always, or like a little judo chop. He does. He gives them like a little gotcha.
Got you. Yeah. That's so true.
While they're like tripping over their own legs and stuff.
That's so true.
But he doesn't even look graceful when he does it.
No, he doesn't.
Though.
And that's
I'm
because
sure it's
he
effective.
looks like a big lug. Like, is he like 6'2", just an idiot that doesn't know his own
He's
weight?
definitely tall.
Yeah.
And he's never been, like, even when he was skinny.
He's an odd body type.
Yeah, he is. Like, if you go
Isn't
back
he?
to, like, early, like, Out for Justice, Nico days, he's quite skinny. But he doesn't look fit, though.
No, he doesn't,
He
does
doesn't
he?
have, like, muscly arms.
Especially
They're just kind of
his head.
straight arms.
That's so true. That's so weird. He's such a weird unit.
He's a
isn't he?
big-time weird unit.
And to be honest, he's a fucking dickhead.
Look,
as well.
he's a real piece of shit, but...
Mr. fucking Russian sympathizer.
Yes.
Oh,
Russian
Jesus.
sympathizer. He's apparently generally not a very nice dude.
Yeah.
Is pretty awful to his fans.
Yeah.
Has been involved in some shady shit.
Shady shit.
We don't want to,
We don't want to borrow him.
Look, we're not here to tell you whether or not he's a good human being or not.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he is. Look at that. Like, he's a weird, lanky motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then Pac pounds onto that weird body type, and he just turns out to be...
Well, he's clearly reached an age where he has zero fucks to give anymore. And so they just put him in these
love that term.
big, like zero.
Yeah.
I have not a single fuck that I could give.
No, but
to
after a
anything he
certain
does.
time in like the early 2000s, he started just wearing the one thing.
Yeah, the big long leather jacket,
kimonos type style. Yeah, leather. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even a leather jacket. It's like a leather muumuu almost.
Yeah.
And he would just wear that in
And he would
everything
just wear that.
because he's too fat.
Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not working out. Get fucked.
And they would do clever editing around his inability to move.
Yeah, exactly.
To make it look like his villains were being thwarted by his skills,
Had fucking
when really
skills,
it's just a stunt man that can fall over effectively.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Fuck, look at this. I would dare someone to watch absolutely all of these back to back.
Okay, look.
Jesus Christ. We're not going to talk about that, but we're talking about Under Siege.
There is a good friend of mine who has an interesting another great podcast, which I should give a little shout out to anyway.
Yeah.
Because he's listening. Paul Murphy, who runs the Screen Psychics
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
He has done something similar to this, and I
really?
was tracking his Facebook as he was going through the Steven Seagal filmography.
That's a hard
and I
slog,
did feel
man.
very sorry for him.
Shit. Props to you, man.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a
Tune into Screen Psychics, find out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a real treat
That's
doing that. So we reach Under Siege, which I think came at a really good point for him because he'd had 4 movies that were good to okay.
Yeah.
None of them are fantastic. None of them are terrible. I've definitely seen much worse action films, I've seen better.
He was riding the coattails of the greats, obviously Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Bruce Willis.
But it's funny.
But that 80s muscle, like uber muscle dudes.
Yeah.
That was ending. That had ended by this point.
It was on the way out.
Yeah.
It was not
wasn't
completely
finished.
done, but I'd actually say it was at its peak. But it
At
was
the
on
time?
it was on the downhill end of the slope.
Yeah,
It was.
It had hit the peak
I think
and
we
was on the
I
way
think we
down.
make it through to probably like 95.
93?
I want to say
95.
I
Really?
reckon before we really kind of reach the end of the muscle bound.
Yeah, fair deal.
Really era. I mean, 94 maybe.
94. Okay.
I don't know.
Wasn't it more? No, because 95. When did my? Because when did?
What film do you count as like the death?
Oh, the death of the 80s.
muscle-bound 80s action film.
I have never been asked that question. That is a really good question.
Like, when did you kind of watch that movie and go, oh, I don't know if this is doing it for me anymore?
Probably Sixth Day. If I'm going to go by Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's
Arnie
2000, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd go earlier than that.
That's earlier than that.
I mean, Collateral Damage,
That
surely.
was fucking shithouse.
What year was that? That was like 2003, though, or something.
So if I were to go by Schwarzenegger, it's because I liked End of Days, but that wasn't muscle bound.
No, that's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
Eraser?
Oh God.
I haven't seen Eraser. I saw Eraser at the cinema and I've never seen it since.
I have. And I hold a little light for Eraser, to be honest.
All right, nice.
It's hilarious.
All right, I'm gonna
it's
give it a
fun.
watch.
It's funny, but yeah.
So, well, look,
Eraser, 96. Because True Lies was 94.
Oh, well, see, we're still right in the thick of it. Then
Exactly.
maybe not in the thick of it.
Not in the thick of it, but that's the last one. I would say that's
probably
at the end of True Lies.
The last
You
successful
were like,
one.
that's it. We are done. And you ended on a fucking good note. I love True Lies.
It is. It's great.
I love it.
So we came in at a good time.
Yeah.
88. Like we were kind of.
It was in the downward slope.
But he was doing a thing where it was a little bit different. He was kind of, while the movies themselves weren't as good, and he was competing against the likes of the Van Dammes, Stallone, Schwarzeneggers. He was doing this kind of street level undercover cop thing.
Yeah.
I think he's a cop in every one of his movies. I don't think he's ever anything but.
Yeah.
Whereas these other guys, I mean, you could say the same thing for Stallone in most of his action films.
Yeah.
Aside from obviously
Rambo.
Well, see, Rambo's I think the ones outside of his big blockbuster franchises.
He's a cop.
And Arnie's doing all kinds of stuff. He's doing
Arnie's
weird
all
stuff.
over
He's doing
stuff, exactly.
fantasies. He's doing sci-fi.
Junior. He's doing comedies.
Yeah, he's doing all kinds of wild stuff. So I think it was different because you just got this guy who's straight down the line. He was just a cop, working the streets, and it was dirty and hard work.
Yeah.
And he had zero charisma whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like he was
so
just
they needed to do something
flat,
with him.
dead weight. And so they made him like these kind of jaded cops.
Yeah.
Who were like hardened by the job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to watch some Steven Seagal. I say this. But
It's
I'm
good
not
fun.
going to.
It's good fun.
I'm going to start at the start. I am.
I did it. I started at the start.
Did
I got a DVD pack.
Oh, with all of them.
Nah, the first 4.
First 4.
Yeah.
That's decent.
It's good.
Yeah.
Good watch. Actually, they didn't have Marked for Death in it. I bought that separately.
Decent.
Yeah.
Steven Seagal, man. He was of the time. Like, everyone was sought after. He was sought after for a while. And he's got his own fan base. That's the thing.
He still has a fan base.
People will see, seek it out.
This is what I mean. This is why they
these things
still make these straight to streaming
Exactly.
movies for like, you know, the change they found at the back of their fucking couch. Because people will buy them. People will see a Steven Seagal title and go, "Oh yeah, $4.99. Let's do
Bring that on."
And they don't care how terrible it is. For a lot of movie like this is why these B film companies survive so long. Excuse me, they know how to capitalize on viewer expectations. They know that Steven Seagal is enough of a name that if they spend
X amount
$2
of
million
dollars
on a film, they know they will make $6 million. It's horseshit. Like that's not money they want to be playing with.
No,
but that's a little bit of profit.
Yeah, sure.
And they put it in the bank and they go back and do it again. Anyway,
seriously,
we don't want to talk about all that horseshit. Let's talk about Under Siege.
Under Siege.
So based on all those, it's clearly the best movie of all those. What I'm disappointed by, I'm just going to put it out there.
Oh wow,
early,
straight into it.
Is that I actually thought it was just a legitimately good movie. And I don't know if I agree with that anymore.
Oh,
I think it's fine.
Yeah,
I used to be a pretty
same.
big champion of this film and say like, no,
fan.
it's a great action
I love
movie.
it. Yeah, it's great.
It's okay.
Sure, but
It's
it's not. It's exactly. It's fine.
Yeah,
and that's just a bit boring.
I could have had the argument that it was on par with some of the great
with a Die Hard, or with a
maybe not Die Hard, maybe Die Hard 2.
Yeah,
like I would have put it on par with Die Hard 2.
Sure. No. Maybe a Time Cop. You know,
love a bit of Time
Cop.
Cop.
A fucking Time Cop.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I watched this and I was like, pretty sure I was meant to see more action. I'm gonna go with it, and that was kind of it. And then it finished, and I was like, oh, what?
It just doesn't ever really take off. It doesn't really ever light up.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't go off.
And I think there's lots of ingredients for a potentially great movie there.
Yeah. They just don't do it.
And just the brew that it comes up with is just not quite up to snuff.
No.
And I think it's funny because I used to really... I think now it might just be because, in retrospect, I'm less... I tolerate the kind of performance that Steven Seagal is giving in this, which is to say,
or is it
it's barely a performance. Like, do you know what I mean? I think I'm less... I tolerate that less.
Yeah.
Do you know... I'm just going to put this out there.
Go
on. He's shown more character in the following line that I'm about to deliver than I think I've ever seen in his career, is when he yells at that guy, "Go get my pies out of the oven!"
I love that line. That's another line that me and my brother just yell at each other. Yeah. Get my pies out of the oven! It's so funny, though. I love that line.
It's so funny.
You got shit for brands, Private. Get my pies out of the oven.
Is this movie a comedy? Because
it could be.
There are some conversations.
Oh, it's
like,
hilarious.
isn't it funny when they cut to like NORAD, or it's like the fucking Situation Room from Strangelove.
Yeah.
And they call and
it's Langley. Yeah, keep going.
It is Langley, is it?
No, I don't know. I'm just saying a word.
It's one of those.
Who cares?
Yeah. And the girl answers.
Yeah.
What's her name in this movie? What's her character name?
Erica
Eleniak. Or Eleniak.
Baywatch,
of course. But what is her character's name? Because they say it a few times.
Jordan.
Is it Jordan?
Yeah.
That's not the name I expected at all. And so she answers, and we get this little back and forth of it's like, can we speak to Captain Ryback? Oh, he's in a gunfight right now.
I'll have to take a message.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I was like, are we doing a bit? Are we doing like shtick?
What is going on here? Yeah, that's so true.
And it caught me off guard as well, because I actually thought this was a really kind of hardline, serious terrorist kind of action movie.
Jordan Tate.
Tate. But it's got a real sense of humour to it. Or it tries to.
It tries to lighten it up.
Some of it works.
Sure.
I actually did laugh at Steven Seagal telling the guy to take the pies out of the oven.
Really?
I thought it was really funny.
Oh, I knew that line was coming up, and I love that line. That's why I was waiting.
Get my pies out of the oven.
But apart from he says it like 3 times.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was a bit weird. I was more drawn to, because I remember what Steven Seagal, because it was on high rotation when I was a kid. It was Bloodsport. If I was taking a week off from watching Terminator, RoboCop, or fucking any of the others. But I knew it back to back. So while watching it this time, I was more interested in what can Gary Busey bring to the table for me?
Gary Busey.
And what the fuck is Tommy Lee Jones doing in this movie? Like, I just feel after watching it, I was like, you know what? I think we should have cast someone else. I just feel
I think
we
he
should have
tries.
cast someone
I think he
else.
does some really
does
great work,
great.
and he could have been really great. But knowing Tommy Lee Jones,
Yep.
and I don't know him personally.
You do know personally. You do.
Yes,
Tyson has been to his ranch.
he cuts my lawn.
Oh,
for
whoa.
me. Yeah.
More like Tyson cuts his lawn.
No.
Yeah.
For acting tips. You know, he wasn't hitting up the martial arts training. You know,
No,
he
of
didn't
course
do
not.
like the 6-week intensive knife fight
fuck
training.
off.
He just went, you know what? I'm just giving the prop knife and I'm just going to wave my arm around a little bit.
Exactly. And in those shots, when it's his back, it's not him.
No,
you can tell that that's not him.
But disappointingly, because he does some really cool stuff. Like, he probably goes a little. I did have this down. He goes a little too facey towards the end of the film.
He does, doesn't he?
You can see the beginnings of what he was going to do.
Yeah.
Just a few short years later.
Yep.
And his kind of manic terrorist thing was very Harvey Dent, I found.
It was, yeah. A bad Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was better. I think his performance was better when he was kind of in control.
Yeah.
Because I actually did find him pretty scared.
Like, it's not. He just snaps, and after the rockets get fired, and he comes in, and his ears are bleeding, which I only just realised this time. But
because he got too close to them cannons.
Yeah. But apart from that, I'm like, what happened? Why have you gone off the rails now? It's weird.
If his eardrum burst,
yes,
right?
Yes,
I assume that's what the bleeding's from.
I'm guessing.
His sense of equilibrium would also be fucked.
That's true.
He would not be knife fighting.
No. Well, not well.
He'd go one swing, and Seagal would just be like, "You've just tried to cut the wall behind you, and I'm going to stab you."
I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to knock you out.
I could just hold my knife out straight, and you would just run
it.
straight into it, thinking it's an exit.
That's gold. So yeah, that's maybe true.
Yeah,
but yeah, Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey. Gary Busey,
what the fuck, man?
I love him. Look, I love him.
I think he's
Not
actually
as
a really
human
good
being
actor.
because
he's a loose unit.
He's a bit of a wild cannon, but I love him as an actor. I love anything that Gary Busey is in.
That's a
I've literally only seen Point Break and this.
Utah.
Oh no! Lethal Weapon 1. What am I talking about?
Oh yeah, he's great. Lethal Weapon 1.
Would you like a shot at the title?
At
the end.
Look, Gary Busey's in a ton of shit, and I do.
What else is he in that I
do quite
like?
enjoy him.
Utah. Give me two.
I think his performance in this is pretty good, but I think what they're asking him to do is kind of not great. I don't like that they end up making him. I think it's just ridiculous that they have a whole sequence of him dressed as a chick, and so that they can have that gag where he says, "Do I look crazy to you?"
Yeah,
and he's sitting there with makeup and fake boobs in. It's like, was this reverse engineered for this gag? Like,
but that's the thing. In one of my notes after I watched this, I was like, this movie was just ticking boxes. Really,
it ticks a lot of boxes.
It just ticks a lot of boxes, and especially with I don't know how to say her name. Is it Erica? Erica. I don't know how to say her last name. Especially with
Jordan Tate.
Yeah, especially with her character, that literally is a producer in the back going, "Can we get some tits in this movie?"
Oh, 100%.
Oh, we've got a film. Awesome.
Yeah.
That literally is her
Oh, now
role.
I can sell this thing now. Yeah, great.
Exactly.
Look, and it's gratuitous.
It is.
12-year-old me was not complaining at all.
No, 12-year-old me was fine with it.
Do you know how, like, it was par for the course though back in the late 80s, early 90s. Like,
yeah, man.
you'd watch an action movie
you're going to see some titties.
You just expect it.
Yeah.
It was so strange. Like, it's just such a different world because you just knew it was the recipe for a successful action film. Was like, yeah, we're going to have some action, we're going to have some nudity, and we get to kind of cover our markets. You know what I mean?
You do realise that only a few years ago, TV started doing that with Game of Thrones, True Blood, and all that.
Well, that's
Watch these shows, and you'll get some, not just nudity, you're going to get fucking.
Well, that's it. And they have legit conversations about the plot while two people are just banging in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're kind of like, okay, I'm listening to this.
But I can't really pay attention because, good Lord, what the fuck is...
It's kind of like it removes... And like you get to a point, like Game of Thrones is some dense shit, man. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You got to be switched on.
But season one, you're like,
can you just
what is going on?
stop what you're doing? Can you just get out of shot? Go somewhere else. I'm trying to listen here. It's really important
Peter
shit.
Dinklage, God damn it, man. Put that away.
Exactly.
God, that's massive.
Yeah, her reveal in the... Jesus. Moving on. Her reveal out of the cake is not... It's just not cool,
But
I
it's...
don't think.
Look...
Because you're kind of like... Okay, for one,
Go on.
they have to go to great lengths to explain it. It's like, she
took
what was she?
some-
She was feeling nauseous, so he
Yeah.
gave her pills, but he actually gave her sleeping pills because he wanted to knock her out
No,
so
but
that they
she
would be
took too
asleep.
many. She took too many.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I thought
'cause
he gave her the different
there
kind
was-
of pills so that she...
No, there was the scene where she was like, look, I feel really sick. I'm going to take more than just 2.
Okay,
so she
I
took
missed that,
more.
sure.
She passed out.
But this is it. They're putting up a whole heap of scaffolding just
Exactly.
to explain the fact.
That
And
she
I don't,
pops out of the
I get it. But when you hear that music play, sure, you pop out. You don't see a single person around.
You would hear them. You're on an all-male ship.
Surely you know what to expect when you
Exactly.
burst out of the cake. There's hoots, there's hollers, there's all
You're going to
kinds
hear
of
a
stuff.
lot of jovial
Yeah.
hollering.
I just think it's a bit of a waste of time. Which is also a bit of a shame because she turns out to be
She's
a pretty
decent.
pretty cool character. She's a
Yeah.
pretty great female kind of companion to the male action lead, which is you know,
Yeah.
something we get a lot in these films. But she's
But she's not
she
a damsel in distress.
No, not at
No,
all.
not
She
at
has
all.
great moments. Like she's got that bit where she loads the gun herself and hands it to the other chef,
Which
who's
is so
which
fucking
is great.
boss, and he was just a jerk.
And yeah, and
It's so
stuff
good.
like that. And so she gets an opportunity to you know, I mean, I know it's all relative, and you know, if we had a female playing this role today,
Yeah.
it would be
That cake scene
not
would not happen.
really. Well, not even that, but just her overall arc. I don't think is enough.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it would be seen
No,
as exploitive. But you know, this is for the time. It was a pretty good,
Yeah, man.
well written. It had an arc. It's not fantastic, but they tried.
Exactly. She
And-
took out one of the henchmen. She was
Yeah.
badass with the gun. Not only that,
One of the main henchmen.
she wasn't the damsel in distress. She's like, no, I'm going to stay here, all that. She was like, no, I'm going to follow him.
Sure. I mean,
'cause
she
otherwise
started
I'll
off with
stay
a little bit
alive.
of kind of like she reminded me of what's her name from Temple of Doom every now and then.
Oh,
Like some of her, the way that she would say stuff, I was like some of her screams and like,
we are going to die. I love that.
But you
I
know,
love
yeah,
Temple of
she
Doom.
developed into a really kind of confident, strong character.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great. And then they, you know, of course, they have to make out at the end, and I'm like,
Which was so fucking stupid. That came out of nowhere.
what's his line?
And I'm like,
how's this for a move
how's
or
this
something?
for a move? Yeah. And then it comes up with executive producer Steven Seagal. I'm like, oh, dude, you put that in yourself.
I want to kiss her at the end.
Can she get out of the cake? That'd be great. Stephen, I don't think we can do that. Wait, she's getting out of the cake. That's bad.
Okay,
That's
so
bad.
let's talk about let's actually talk about everybody else, and then
Oh,
we'll
yeah,
get
sure.
to Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
So did we? We've already kind of done that, haven't we?
we have a little. Can I ask? I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
No, you go first. What
Are
were
you
gonna
sure?
say? Yeah, you go first.
Okay, I do like when you ask me
Because
questions.
mine's just a little question.
Oh no,
which
ask
we'll
you a
get to
question.
later.
Oh, okay.
That body. You know what I love? I'm going to bring this up.
Okay.
The one thing I did love about this, which you don't get anymore in movies, is this movie has a hefty body count.
It's not bad.
There's 100 people get knocked off in this thing.
It's there's it's good. There's a lot of cannon fodder, which
Exactly.
you kind of want these movies to
I
have.
love that. And my favorite is the first knife throw. That guy dies, man. It just gets him in the neck.
I mean, like,
and you're like, yeah.
There's
So many of them.
There is no argument as to what your favorite is. How can anything other than getting your throat ripped out be the favorite?
How good is that?
It's the best.
He does, doesn't he? And
He
because
legit
you
rips his
hear
throat
that, like the gurgle, you're like, oh, dude, that guy died in the face.
Like, seriously.
He seriously died. You serious? There's so many of them. There's the knife throw, there's the neck, and then there's the guy that gets tripped up, and then just one karate chop to the neck, and this guy is dead.
Yeah,
like that guy
he
died.
gets it. He gets it real bad.
Dead.
I also like the guy that gets the pillar straight through the chest.
Through. That's a bit much.
That's
That's
not
a bit
bad.
much. I was like, really? Are you really doing
What
that?
are you talking about? What are we doing here?
Fair deal.
Steven Seagal on a boat. You can do whatever you like.
But yeah,
some good.
I love
yeah.
a movie with a hefty body count, man. Makes me want to watch Commando again.
Yeah, Commando's the all-time.
dude.
But Commando's dumb in a way that it's like it's the perfect example of the one that they take the piss out of in Hot Shots,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's like every time a gunshot goes off, they start doing ninja like gymnastics.
Yeah.
That's Commando.
And that happens in this a little bit.
It does.
When they come out of the door. What kind of henchman runs out the door and just gets shot and falls down the stairs? Like that happened like
movie
5
henchman.
times.
Movie henchman. That's 100% what it is. Movie henchman and video game henchman. That's how they roll.
I love it.
But
yeah.
All right. Well, I will mention.
Yeah.
I want to talk about something.
Oh, here we go.
And it is the what are the lengths that terrorist groups or military kind of coups, what are the lengths of preparation that these guys go to?
Are you talking about before they... Go on.
Yeah, hear me out.
Yeah.
Because I think planning this kind of attack would be tough.
Right.
Do you know what I reckon's also tough?
Uh-huh.
Finding a bunch of guys that can play instruments that well, who also
are okay with
committing terrorism. Because that band was cooking, right?
Yeah, that band was badass.
And I'm like, in my head, I thought, because I didn't remember the film very well.
Yeah.
I was like, it's just Tommy Lee Jones has weaseled himself into this band, playing the fucking harmonica and basically being like a hype man for the band that's already playing. It's kind of like,
because he's not the singer.
He's not the singer.
There's a singer there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, when he pulls the gun, the whole band pulls guns.
I know.
I'm like, this is some preparation, guys. You guys learn a whole
They've got a set list going on.
But that's what I mean. What if you had to delay it? Because what if there was something and it's like, oh no, we need to give it half an hour, and they're like, dude, we only learned 4 songs. We can't play the whole. It's like, play something. It's like, I don't know how to play this instrument. I've learned it 100%, just physical repetition. I don't know.
Of one fucking song. I don't even know what I'm hitting. You're telling me to hit this, which you've told me is a fret, I don't know what that is.
I've never picked up this instrument before in my life.
I know the ins and outs of an M16, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
And
That's
I've never heard
hilarious.
this music before, but apparently these guys like it. I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
God, that's hilarious.
It blew my mind a little bit because I was kind of like, someone has to have thought of that. Someone must have brought this up
funny,
before.
Yeah, I like that. I've never thought of that either.
That is some serious
because they do.
preparation.
They all pull guns.
Yeah. So they jammed.
Yeah. They would have had to have a rehearsal.
Many rehearsals. Because, we're talking maybe 1 or 2 songs a rehearsal. You can get up to scratch.
Yeah.
Especially, less if you're not, old school musos.
Yeah, exactly.
And these guys looked like they'd been around the traps.
Well, maybe see, back in these days, Tyson, there wasn't internet around. If you wanted to entertain yourself, you got out an instrument. Maybe they just knew. Maybe they were old school. Maybe they were a band and
maybe they were a band back in the day.
Yeah.
And then they all went and joined the fucking special forces together.
Yeah.
And then
came
so
out
this
of
is
it.
their
It was
opportunity.
Like, well, this is just shit. Let's. My question is on similar. I have a question which is sort of similar.
Yes.
What is the end game really of this? Like, they're going to sell. Let's say they sell off the missiles, right? Let's say they sell off the missiles. How the fuck do they get off the Missouri?
Yeah.
Where are they? They can't just dock and then leave.
So that was what that other submarine was for, wasn't
Obviously,
it?
yes. That and the helicopter that Ryback blew up. That was another escape.
So where are they planning on going? Did we find out where they were planning on going?
No.
So when they get the missiles, this is what I always find really interesting about terrorist activity.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'm not well versed.
Yeah. Oh, you do. You look well versed.
How does one look well versed in terrorism?
Yeah.
Now, what is the ins and outs of this transaction? They have the missiles somewhere,
right?
They wait until some money arrives somewhere,
sure,
and then they
they're offloading them.
They put the missiles
via
somewhere else.
I don't know.
Do they just leave them on the Missouri and go, all right, well, we're going to fuck off?
Yeah, because they talk about the pillar that went through that guy's chest. Because they were talking about this is what we were using to load them off. And I was like, for starters, how many fucking rockets are there that you need to? Can't you just pick it up?
Well,
clearly not. The thing must weigh a ton.
They talk about apparently 2 of them is enough to wipe out Honolulu or something. Yeah. So I'm like, just take one. One will do the job.
You don't need all of them.
You don't need all of them.
Yeah.
And just say, I'll point it at fucking Mississippi, Manhattan,
and hey, you're going to give me what you need. You're going to suffer the consequences of the Hulk.
The actual Hulk. Yeah, look, endgames are funny in these movies. They matter less to me.
Especially now that I'm thinking about it, because we've already done this. It was our 2nd episode, I believe. Die Hard with a Vengeance. What was the end game there? With all of that fucking gold.
Oh, no, do you know what? We've done this before.
Have we done this before?
And
there was an end game?
It's very complicated. It's unnecessarily complicated.
Okay. Let's not get into it.
No,
we don't have the time.
No.
We don't have the time.
But I feel like gold is a more kind of transferable commodity. You know what I mean? Well, look, I don't know.
Because you literally put the missiles in a shed and go, the pickup point is here. Go get them. I've done my job. I'm not delivering them to you. Unless they do that
Here's my,
via the submarine.
Here's my PayPal fucking details. Can you just...
Exactly. No, write me a check, man. It's the 80s.
Oh, I want a big novelty check?
No, I don't want them. I hate them. I really don't understand why.
I wanted to pretend like I won the lottery. I want to get a photo shaking hands with the president, getting my terrorism money.
Totally random left field. Did you hear about the Powerball? Who won that Powerball? There was a... Was it 4 million? 4 billion?
I don't want to think about it, man, because I won 4 million.
It would
have been 4 billion, because 4 million's a walk in the park for lottery winners.
It was a guy who lives in Melbourne, and he is
Melbourne.
and he's 20.
No, it would have been 40 mil.
40 mil. Thank you.
Because I don't think we've ever had $1 billion lottery in
20,
Australia.
20, Tyson. He's 20 years old and he has that much money. Moving on. He's just going to blow it all. He really is.
You'd have some wild parties.
Exactly. Another thing that happens in these movies that doesn't happen anymore, when the SEAL team, their only backup plan, we're sending the SEALs in. Right back. We're sending the SEALs in.
Yes.
SEAL Team Force 1. They're going to rectify everything. They'll be fine. So, they get exploded. They all die. Oh, well. Moving on.
SEAL Team 2.
They literally do not give a fuck. They're like, oh, well. SEAL Team 2. What do you got? We don't have a SEAL Team 2. It literally is Ryback now. Yeah. We've all of our hopes and dreams lay on him. Well, good luck to that soldier. They've got a hard time going on that. They literally don't care. Like, if this was done today, you would see consequences of all of those soldiers.
This movie's a comedy, right?
Don't. Yeah.
I think the more we talk about it, the more I'm realizing I think it was a comedy script and no one realized.
No one
and the
realized.
writers are just laughing all the way to the bank, going, "Yeah, it's like Die Hard, totally Die Hard on a boat. You go
totally
and
funny.
Have a good time." It's like, no, take it real seriously. You do that.
Have a good one. Yeah, have a good one with that.
Because there's that.
Yeah.
There's because that's actually it's kind of funny how much they praise him up, and it's like it's the last hope. It's the only thing we got. We can't do it.
Moving on.
Okay, Casey, it's on to you. And there's lines like one of the guys at fucking Langley Pentagon or whatever. Like after that conversation he has with Jordan, hangs up the phone and looks around at these people and goes, "Well, they're in a lot of trouble on that ship."
Oh, I laughed. Okay, so that's where I laughed. That's where I laughed because I was like, "Who says that? Don't say that."
A comedy line. That's got to be a comedy line. It's got to be.
They've got some real trouble on that ship. And he literally just looks around the table like he's like, "Anyone with me? Anyone?
Yeah.
Joe? No? Okay.
Okay, so let's run with this for a little bit then.
Yeah. Like that jerk off on the other side of the table. I feel like he has.
He's William Atherton from Ghostbusters and Die Hard annoying.
Yeah, that's right. But
it's true. This man has no dick.
This man has no dick. No, that's not the same actor though. No.
Yeah, it's William Atherton.
No.
Oh.
100% no. I know Ghostbusters backwards, and that isn't him. Here we go.
All right.
But where are the consequences for him? Because clearly it's his fault. Is it his fault that this has happened?
Casey Ryback.
No.
John Turturro. No, he's not in this movie. Who am I thinking of?
The guy that you think is
Gary
William Matherton?
No, I'm not saying he's the guy he's in Under Siege. I'm saying it's the same guy who's in Ghostbusters and Die Hard.
Oh, you're saying that
it's not him.
It's not him, but it's that character.
It's that character. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I agree.
Yeah. I thought you meant it wasn't the same guy in Ghostbusters and Die Hard. And I'm like, I reckon it might be. Yeah, he's that easily
that same guy. Yeah, exactly.
They don't even try. Because what did he like? He's tried to kill Tommy Lee Jones.
I know, what the hell.
He's
and
like, he leans over his buddy and we're like,
that.
we'll just blame it on the cock. No.
The cook. He just said cock. You have to edit that. That was hilarious. No, leave it in. Tyson just said cock.
Say cop and realized, no, he wasn't a cop. He was a cook.
Oh, Jesus.
A cook.
Tyson has cocks on the brain.
Excuse me.
Yeah, fair deal. That's hilarious. That is hands down the funniest
My brain has just fucking fried.
Well, this is what you get when you're up late with Nick Tyson Videotape. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the cock edition.
Oh my God. I can't.
Put your kids away.
Stop it. I can't do it.
It's getting blue in here. Oh God. We're getting blue with Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey.
Oh, this is it, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you say Busey or Busey?
This is the end. Busey.
Busey.
Surely.
Okay.
Not Boozy.
I don't know.
Busey. Yeah. Like the news.
News.
Busey. Yeah. Okay. So and
yeah.
also,
Go on.
more to add credence to it's probably a comedy thing.
Yep.
It's very irresponsible how he just gets all the cooks involved. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he is a cook, yes, and he can kick ass.
Yep.
None of the other ones
I
can.
know, seriously.
He's got him like packing heat. And
He's got
fucking
3 cooks. He's got one guy that's a
gunner
gunner
whatever,
dude.
I don't know,
Yeah.
fucking- yeah.
First shipper's mate or whatever the hell
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
And the other guy's like a navigator
mate.
or something.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
great.
But apart
useful.
from those two,
But he's-
who are geriatrics,
Yeah,
almost,
exactly.
the other ones are like, yeah, I do laundry. He's like,
Yeah.
dude, pick up a gun. You're in the Navy, remember?
Yeah.
It's not a job. It's an adventure.
See, and it's a comedy line. It's a comedy. I think we just missed it all along. This is a comedy.
Clearly we're wrong.
I've
Okay.
switched on.
So
now.
I'm moving it out of my action section and putting it in.
It's got to be in the comedy
Okay,
section.
cool.
It's
All right.
like should be next to Hot Shots.
Yeah, fair deal. Hot Shots, yeah. I haven't watched that.
But he's putting these dudes like literally
War,
in
it's
the
fantastic.
firing line.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
Yeah,
One
no.
of them gets shot and they grab him, and then 5 minutes later they're like, "Oh, he didn't make it."
make it.
And it's like, "Oh, what are you?"
Oh, fuck. Yeah,
All right,
take it
yeah.
easy.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, no, that's a guy that shouldn't even be there in the first place. You should have You should have just helped those guys hide and say, "Look, just stay here.
Put right
We'll
back
figure
at
it
the
out."
front. Come on, don't let anything else happen.
Did this movie need? Maybe this movie needed more of a wisecracking hero, like with
It
real
needed
charisma.
Jordan Tate to be more of a comedy element.
No, I think
No?
in the Seagal role.
Oh, right.
I think we needed like a
Like
Bruce Willis
or a Dan
someone-
Aykroyd.
Oh. John Candy. I think
John Candy.
We needed a John
Oh,
Candy.
John Candy.
No. Oh, well, I mean...
So someone who can take the action as well. You need an Eddie Murphy, someone who's funny.
My God, Eddie
and
Murphy in Under
action-
Siege.
and action driven.
You are on it, my
right
friend.
there. See, there you go.
That'd
be decent.
That changes the whole movie. I'm on board.
There we go.
Because then, oh man, it's so good. Suddenly this movie is amazing.
Suddenly this movie's awesome. He'd making wise.
Can you imagine him telling him to get those pies out of the oven? It'd
Exactly.
be hilarious.
It'd be gold. You'd love that shit.
Got shit for brains.
Shit for brains, pilot.
It'd be great.
It'd be really funny. It'd be really funny.
What are people
Especially
thinking? What were people
there'd be
thinking?
really good quips that he'd come up with as well that wouldn't be in the
No.
script.
So this was
All the
this was
bagging out
like
of Gary Busey.
this was like Boomerang, Distinguished Gentleman,
Yeah,
Eddie Murphy
Metro.
era.
Metro.
Oh, I think
Metro was a bit
Metro's a bit later, I reckon.
Yeah.
It was when he was trying to be like when he was trying to do like
The
kind of
Golden
grown up
Child.
comedies. Like
Is it the Golden Child?
Golden Child, I reckon was probably 88 or so,
Yeah,
87
yeah.
or 88.
Yeah, man. Eddie Murphy action. I still need to know what happened to Eddie Murphy. At one point, he literally just gave up and said, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
Really? That's it?
I
though?
guess.
There's got to be a fucking
Oh, he
reason.
makes occasional things here and there. I think they're trying to
He
weasel
really
his way back
doesn't.
in.
He really doesn't. I have a question. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Why does so? From the start of the movie, they ask about the cook and I only cook for the captain. Da 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 da. Blah
Sure.
blah 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 blah.
Sure.
Gary comes down and he goes, everyone here is supposed to be in the mess hall. Get the fuck out. You stay there."
Yeah.
At that point, he goes, he's still under control. He hasn't done anything, but for some reason, because he spits in the soup, he hits an officer.
Yes.
Like he hits him hard in the face
Yeah.
for it to bleed.
Yeah. He gets a good.
There's no reason for that though. I was like, that was uncalled for. Like even you as a cook who is actually a Navy SEAL understands the hierarchy. He outranks you. Yes, you don't get along with him, but he still outranks you. Like just because you're the captain's
Private,
personal
yeah.
bodyguard doesn't mean that,
Look.
And he's not even when they explain it, the captain took him under his wing so he could do out his sentence as a cook because he was dishonorably discharged or whatever.
Yeah. Look,
I just don't get why he hits him.
no, and look, it's unnecessary because it really, as a character, he should be presented as, even though yes, he was dishonorably discharged.
Yeah.
we want to find out that it's because he lost his cool once.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just because some dick spit in his buoy base or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know what that was, and they keep saying it over and over again. I'm like, what is it? Is it a soup? Is it a stock? What are we talking about here?
It smells like a lard omelette.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, is it like a seafood kind of like broth?
Yeah, like a chowder. Chowder.
What is it called? Buoy base.
I don't know.
Like as in a base.
Yeah,
And then you add buoy.
really don't know. I'm the last foodie person ever.
Yeah. No, so you're right. It's a bit strange that he just kind of loses his cool, but plot has to happen, so he has to get inside the freezer.
We have to get inside
somehow.
the fridge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well,
you got a fire in here. Yeah, get my pies out there.
we are hanging shit about on this movie. What do we like?
It doesn't do. There's no bit in this movie where you go, oh, that was shit. There's no bit of that.
I think the set pieces are pretty effective.
Exactly.
Like, it's structured pretty well. Like,
you never
in the sense,
sigh or roll your eyes in this movie.
We do, for a movie it's not short. But it really rolls along pretty well.
And the action shots what you get are okay. They're great.
I think I was surprised
Sure.
because this is one of those movies where I think I saw a cut for television version more so than I'd seen.
Okay, yeah.
This uncut version.
Yeah.
So I had no idea about ripping throats, about the guy getting the beam through his fucking torso.
Tommy Lee Jones's eyes getting squished out of his head.
His eyes getting squished. I remember it was just...
and it's a weird 90s slow motion shots. It happens twice in this.
I remember them.
With the eyes, it's slow motion coming like that. And what was the other one? I think it was the guy who got kneed in the balls and the saw went through his shoulder.
Oh,
do you remember that one?
Yeah. Definitely don't remember that one from Made for Television.
I think that
didn't
one, because
bother
they
with that.
slowed down. It slows down so you see what
Sure,
happens.
it's not just the awkward. It's probably the slight change in frame rate from reinserting it back into an uncut version, maybe.
Probably is, yeah.
Because they feel like
fluid.
They feel like cuts for
that kind of makes sense now,
dropping a rating. Like it almost feels like they kind of went, hey, look, it's 2 frames. If we don't get the rating, we can just cut these 2 frames out and we'll be fine.
Totally.
But yeah, I do like the action. I like this. I like the structure. I like the way it moves.
Yeah.
I like that it starts off as, it's very stealthy and he's got to kind of keep himself on the down low.
The soundtrack in this thing is badass.
Yeah, and it really matches that. And then we get kind of like, okay, in this bit he's going to do the bit where he goes to the submarine.
Yeah.
And try and blow up the helicopter.
And they get him with hooks.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's fucking painful as shit. I love the dude that pulls up the hook with his swimsuit on and just sits there going, I got him!
And you're like, really?
Yeah.
What year is this?
It's like a battle cry from one of the 300 dudes after killing somebody.
It totally is, seriously.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I like that after each little set piece, he kind of scatters away like a rat and just goes back to his little spot where he's allowed to have conversations and it's all good.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think it all kind of wraps up really quickly. I think, and this is one of those movies where someone had to tell them that Tommy Lee Jones is the most exciting thing in this movie.
Yeah.
And they should have realized that, hey, once you kill Tommy Lee Jones... It's like it should be movie over.
Literally finishes.
Well, they still have the whole things with the missiles.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no.
And the hostages.
Yeah, put them earlier.
Yeah.
Put them earlier.
Get the hostages out.
Tommy
Lee
Jones needs to be the last thing that happens because he's the most interesting character.
I completely agree. Yeah, good point.
Because once he's dead, I'm kind of like, let's wrap it up.
Yep,
let's wrap it. I don't care about the missiles. I don't care about them.
Are we going to see titties?
I legitimately forgot that
out.
all those sailors were still under there.
Yeah,
like I completely forgot.
And they do too. When the missile blows up,
yes,
they kind of have like okay, we did all right there. That was good, gang.
Oh yeah, no, just watch it.
No, they're still drowning.
Yeah,
the water is still. Oh no, they turned off the water.
They had turned off the water,
but still, they may need to go to the bathroom.
Why not let those guys out really early in the movie and just swarm the remaining terrorists with all the sailors?
Come on,
why leave them in there until the very end?
There's got to be some guys in there that know what they're doing.
More than a couple of
cooks.
chefs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on.
I just do laundry. You're like, oh, Miss June, I'll show you around. Like he's not doing any good for anybody.
He's not, dude. You need to sit in this room and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
just stay there by yourself.
I'll trade you. Take him down to the sailors, and I'll say, I'll trade you this fucking piece of shit for
that
you.
guy just there. He lifts a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He can knock someone out.
Yeah,
give me him. Yeah,
but well, what else?
Under Siege.
Tell me what you think about Under Siege 2, Dark Territory.
I've watched it once. I gave it a shot.
Once was enough?
Once was enough. It was on a train.
Bogosian as the bad guy.
Look, it's a hard pass. I remember it even being a hard pass for the time.
Does he have a daughter in that?
He does. So that's the thing. Don't trade up.
I don't buy Seagal as a dad.
No, I don't either.
Ever.
And that's disgusting.
I think you can get away with him as like the husband, and if you want to, if his wife is the put upon wife of the depressed cop, I can kind of buy that. I don't buy him as a dad at all.
No, not at all. Pass.
He shows zero compassion. Like even when he's acting, like the bit at the end when it's all like, It's like
he has a weird smile, doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He's got a
Creepy
weird smile.
motherfucker.
I love how the end of this movie is like. I reckon his kind of like lifelong dream to have everybody worship him because he's just sitting there and all the people are kind of like, "Hey, it's Ryback! Yeah, you got it,
Show me a
Ryback.
move, cool ball."
Yeah."
And I'm like, why do you keep saying that?
And I'm like, who's this guy that dances and is now like, who everyone thought, it's kind of like when he appears, he's the cool guy. And everyone goes, "Oh, Cue Ball, you're the best." And now it's like, because Cue Ball comes up and goes, "No, Ryback, you're the best."
Cool one.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, I feel like he wrote the scene himself to be like, you know what? They should all like laugh at my jokes and then I'm going to kiss the hot blonde and then the black break dancing guy should say I'm cooler than him. And then credits. And everyone kind of just went,
No, but we need to bury the captain.
Okay.
Okay, I'll salute at the end and that's it.
Yeah, we'll just all salute together. And it's like, yeah.
It really is like that, though.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah,
So
it
bizarre.
is.
I feel like...
Okay, so that's the one. So, show me a move, Cue Ball. That's the cringeworthy part for me.
Yeah.
Apart from that, no, I still like it.
Look, I'll
watch it again.
I will
in
watch
10
it again.
Years.
It's really easy to watch. It's
is,
really
isn't it?
easily digestible. But compared to...
Under Siege 2, it's a...
Oh, well, compared to Under Siege 2, it's a fucking masterpiece. But
Under
I don't
Siege
know.
2.
I just think...
Train.
I think especially this time, because it had been probably 5 or 6 years since I'd seen it.
Yeah.
I think going into it this time, I wanted it to be, Under Siege is going to be one of those action movies that I'm going to put on more often.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
It's not.
It's well and truly cemented itself
DVD
as...
away. I have to
probably
give it
keep my
away.
DVD.
You keep your DVD.
It's made itself very clear that it's a once every 5, 6, 7 year kind of deal where it's just kind of like, remember Under Siege? Was it any good? It's okay.
Yeah.
Whereas,
what is it? What is a movie that you keep doing that with? That you go, maybe it was good. Maybe it was good.
I definitely have movies like that where I keep putting it on, going, "Do I like this movie?
I'm pretty sure this is good."
Here's one, Mr. Brooks.
Yeah.
Because it's got my man K-Cost.
K-Cost. Yeah.
And I think there's bits in that. There's so many bits in that that I think potentially could make a great movie. And I watch them going, "Oh, I like this bit. This bit's really good." And then I get to the end of the movie and go, "No, that movie does not work at all." But then again, I'll watch it again another year and be like, "Oh, this bit though, this bit's good. This bit's good."
Why the fuck did I put this on again? Now I have to watch it. God damn. I think my version of that is Dark Knight Rises.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you just don't enjoy that movie that much.
Only because of the holes. I wanted it to work.
All right.
I wanted it to work. I was batting for it. I was like, yes. Especially because hearing that Nolan was like, no, Dark Knight, I'm done. And then and Warner Brothers was like, well, we're going to do a third. And he's like, well, if you're going to do a third, instead of you fucking up my trilogy, I'll do it. And because I heard that story, I was like, well, yeah.
Fair enough.
We'll come back.
We will dissect that at one point, no doubt.
We did. But I always go back to it and I go, yeah, decent. Oh.
I have the opposite reaction to that movie. Yeah. Shall we move on?
Move on.
Under Siege, ladies and gentlemen.
Under Siege.
What do you think of Under Siege? Listeners, not you, Nick. We don't have to go back to the start of
we
this
can go back to
conversation
what I start. Well, at the start of this movie.
Yeah, listeners, why don't you let us know? Are you a Steven Seagal fan? Are you not? Do you like Under Siege 2 Dark Territory better than Under Siege? Because that's crazy.
Is it Dark Territory? Is
I
that
feel
the
like
name
that's,
of the fucking...
yeah, that's the subtitle.
Are you being
Dark
serious?
Territory.
Dark Territory.
Look
at him. He just looks bad now, doesn't he?
But whose idea was it that it was like, do you know what made Under Siege work? The fact that it was like...
Isolated
on a thing. So what's the other thing we can do?
Dark Territory. How did you remember that? Yeah.
Not that it was like engaging action or you had villains that were well written. And
yeah, exactly. It had nothing to do with that.
Who at least kind of were more than your stock standard run of the mill like disposable bad guys.
Yeah.
No. It was on an isolated piece of public transport.
Yeah.
Public transport. Not really.
Public transport.
It was on a form of transportation.
It was a form of transportation, which was cross country.
Yes.
And that is it.
That's it. Under Siege 3.
Under Siege 3 Submerged.
Oh, not bad.
Under Siege 3 The Air Blimp Task.
The Air Blimp Task? The task of the air blimp.
No, wait. The Task Air Blimp. So they're Task Force Air Blimp. Dude, there you go.
Hey, it's quiet. Well, actually, I don't know that. If it was a hot air balloon, though.
No, pass. That's happening in 2 seconds with one karate chop. That's not happening.
There's no room in the basket. He'd just sit there.
No, they're doing it on
and they'd
top.
keep trying to
They have to
fly
go
up.
to the
They'd
top.
keep trying to crawl up.
And
and
they
he'd
swing
just,
down. Like, nah, shit. God damn it.
Moving on.
If you are a Steven Seagal fan, write in. Especially, can I ask, because I couldn't find any... this was one movie that I wanted to look up reviews, and I couldn't find a female reviewer.
Oh, really?
I would like to know a female voice on Under Siege. If you've watched it, tell me what you think.
Good.
I'd like to know.
I concur.
Right.
I would also like
write
to
us in. But apart from that, Tice,
Shall we move on?
let's move on.
To what did you watch this week?
Oh,
Damn.
I liked it. That was good.
Okay.
That was like an old school night, like a Hey Tice, I watched something this week.
I didn't watch shit, so
I
you go.
watched motherfucking John Wick again. God damn.
Yeah.
I need to prepare myself for number 2. So I'm watching number 2 on Monday.
Yes. And then John Wick 3,
And
not
then John
far
Wick 3.
away.
Yeah,
not
no,
far
bring
away
it
at all.
on. Bring it on.
John Wick's the best.
But going from John Wick, which was... I've only seen it once.
Yes.
Bought it on Blu-ray, watched the Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Going from John Wick to Under Siege, I was like, wow.
What are we even doing?
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
This thing... This is what action has... But the thing is, they're very different.
They are very different, but
This
I
is
think we're
what
just
action
in a
has
much better. We're in a
evolved
much
into.
better like landscape for action movies at the moment. Like it's
Exactly.
so much better, so much more enjoyable, so much more depth, so much
It's
more
a storyline, man. Like that story, like John Wick, like you are feeling for him straight off the bat.
You know more about John Wick in the first 10 minutes of this film of John Wick
exactly.
than you know about Casey Ryback in the whole fucking movie.
That's so true.
And
you couldn't give a
not just
fuck
facts about
Casey
who
Ryback.
he is,
And
like
that's the thing.
things about his actual
I
personality.
can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back to Under Siege. Steven Seagal didn't get hurt at all. Oh no, he got the hook.
He got the hook in the back. Remember that?
But that's it. Like
It looked
John
like it got him- it
McClane
looked like
gets
it got him
fucking
pretty
shot,
bad.
beat up, bloodied, everything. Steven Seagal didn't get fucking shit.
Yeah, Steven Seagal hasn't got time for that
Yeah,
shit.
fuck off. But John,
He's like, no, I
John
don't
Wick,
wanna get
man,
blood in my hair.
it starts off. This is another one that there has to be a term for this, Tice, where they start at the end and then revert back to it. There's a cinematic term that I'm thinking of.
It's essentially
that I don't know.
It's essentially a cold open with
a turnaround.
Yeah.
Would you call it the turnaround? Would you call it the switcheroo?
The old switchery-doo? So we're gonna go straight to a cold open and then the old switchery-doo.
That's terrible. That is not what they're calling it. It is not a cinematic term at all.
Oh, mate,
My
but it
God.
is now. You better believe it.
It isn't. But yeah, this is where this works. Like I remember watching this for the first time. Yeah, and I was like, well, clearly he dies. Fuck, like John Wick dies. And I was all for it. I was all for like guns blazing, him dying. God, John Wick is decent, especially with the fact that I love that they have built up his reputation so well in this thing that you know that the bad guys are going to get it regardless. But you see the villain in this just throw the kitchen sink, everything but at John Wick, and he's still fucked. Even when he has him, and you get a sense that he's fucked. Like there's no getting out of it. You are going to die.
Well,
and I love it. And I love it.
So many movies try to create mythology around a character, like predominantly evil characters. Like how many times have you heard, oh, he's like, it's the wrath of 1,000 suns. It's like, if he's on a warpath, don't even bother. Just get out of his way or you're dead meat. Like, and you kind of listen to these people talking, just kind of like, oh, I don't get it.
Fuck off.
I don't get it. But the way they talk about John Wick and the fear in their eyes,
it's not even. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just that momentary I love how when everyone finds out about whose dog.
Oh,
like it's like how they all are just like, who?
Sorry, whose?
You did what to his?
Exactly.
You fucking.
It's John Leguizamo.
Idiot.
It's John Leguizamo when and I don't know the actor's name. I'm literally just going to call him Reek from now on because I love that it's Reek who is the son of the Russian who comes in and
Theon
Greyjoy, yeah. He comes in with his car. John Leguizamo sees the car and goes, I know whose car that is.
Yeah.
You need to get that the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Because I'm not having a
great.
bar
It's
of it.
perfect.
And then with the call with the father, he goes, I hear you struck my son. I'm like, yes, I did. And this is why. And then he just goes, oh, and then hangs up. And he knows why. And just from those two interactions, you're like, wow, you're fucked. Like, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I'm a huge fan.
John Wick. So, yeah, John Wick 2.
I like 2. I like 2 better.
You like 2 better?
Yeah, 2 is fucking great.
The sequel, Tyson,
One is
better.
a very good, a really great action movie. 2 is fucking excellent.
So the
Excellent.
only thing that I've heard, because I haven't heard a lot, is that the reasoning behind it isn't as strong as the first. No,
Well, it's still kind of carried over. Like, this is the thing.
Really?
It's just because of it's all still traces back to the events of the first film.
Decent.
He's kind of just in it now, and it's something he just has to deal with
I like
now.
it. I like it.
But fuck, it's good.
In the movie John Wick, what would you? I would work in that hotel. I would like to work in that.
Like
hotel.
to work there. Well, you know, you're not going to get shot, I guess, while
Yeah,
you're in
exactly.
there.
Well, no, that's true. You do have people who break the rules.
It occasionally does happen.
I'd work in the bar downstairs.
Oh yeah, you know, it'd be good drinks, top shelf.
Dude.
I'd tell a lie. I did watch one thing. I watched the first couple of episodes of Disenchantment, the new Matt Groening comedy on Netflix,
nice.
and I am enjoying it. I think it's
Nice.
pretty funny.
Is
Is
it true? Sorry, just to interrupt. Is it true that The Simpsons is ending?
No, I did not hear that.
Oh no, I'm
at
thinking
all.
of Big Bang Theory.
Big
Sorry.
Bang Theory done.
Has died
We can all
off.
breathe a sigh of relief.
Thank
And
fuck.
hopefully within a few short years, we'll never have to hear the word bazinga ever again.
That's not true because young Sheldon is a thing.
What?
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's okay,
keep
man.
going.
Yeah, so it's closer in tone to Futurama than it is The Simpsons.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit more adult. It's got a bit of a kind of a darker streak to it, a little bit of a meaner edge to it.
Nice.
Some of the gags work really well. Some of them kind of fall a little bit flat. I'm actually enjoying the characters though. It's got a really interesting array of characters.
Yeah.
From the kind of jaded princess who reminds me of kind of it's pretty typical of that, but it's like the one from
Jaded Princess. You're talking about Hercules?
No, it's kind of like from Spaceballs.
Oh yeah, that's the other one I was thinking of.
But she's got an attitude. She doesn't want to marry the guy. But she's got like a drinking problem. She's it's a really kind of fun character, and she's got like a little elf sidekick whose name is Elfo, and there's the scene where he escapes from the elf village is full of just such typical Simpsons humor, and it made me laugh a lot. She's got a little devil who was sent as a curse, but now hangs out with her.
Yep.
And he's like basically like a house cat in a way. I'm finding that I'm laughing a lot more than I'm not, and that's a pretty good start when it's just the first couple of episodes.
That's pretty good.
Like I'm having good giggles to myself, and I think it definitely is going to go places if they. It seems like they really are going to go for it with their concept and get a little bit more kind of risque as we go along. Because some of the gags, it's like, how are you getting away with that gag on Netflix?
Awesome.
So, yeah, I would recommend
it.
giving it a crack. It might not be for everybody, but I'm having a good time watching it. So, yeah, that's Disenchantment on Netflix.
Fair deal.
Are we going to...
Let's
Crossing the streams!
Oh, I like that ending.
Oh,
that was good.
that's all I got in me. That is
good.
all I got in me. Have you got yours?
No, I do not.
All right, I'm going to go because I got mine.
Okay, good.
Fresh as a Daisy to Netflix.
Fresh as a daisy.
It's probably... I think I might have talked about this once before when I started actually watching it not too long ago.
Yeah.
But I did a bit of a... Like, I wanted to watch as many of the Dirty Harry movies as I could.
Okay.
And I got through the first 3 before I needed to take a little break. But the first Dirty Harry... is at the moment on Netflix, and it's just popped up on Netflix.
Yeah.
And this is 100% as good as its reputation holds.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the series is so popular. It all comes back to the quality of this first film.
Decent.
It is. I really enjoyed it.
Which one is this one?
So this is the one with the serial killer Scorpio.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Played by where is he? What's his name? Andrew Robinson from Hellraiser.
Oh, nice.
Guy that wears the face. Oh, the dad, and then he gets to be the guy underneath his face. It's actually really kind of... It's much more of a gritty kind of 70s serial killer thriller than it is like an out-and-out action movie.
Okay.
Which I wasn't aware of the first time I watched it. I was expecting like a bit more kind of bombastic cop film, if you know what I mean. But this one is not that at all. It's really pretty down the line, straightforward serial killer thriller. And it's really effective, though. Really, really effective. And you can see the kind of character that Dirty Harry Callahan is going to end up being. And he's great. He just owns the screen. I mean, it's Clint fucking Eastwood. No shock to anyone that he's got incredible screen presence. But yeah, and it's directed like fucking sharp, man. It's really good. There's a chase sequence.
Yeah.
About 2/3 the way through the film that is just mind-blowing. It goes for about 10 minutes, barely a word spoken, and it is riveting stuff.
Nice.
I really recommend this if you haven't seen them.
I've always wanted to watch it. It's been on my list for years.
Yeah, it's kind
I've
of
never
it's
watched
kind
any
of the
them.
generation above us. Like all of our dads have watched all the Dirty Harrys, but I think for our generation, probably like 35 and under, you might have seen some of them when you were a kid, but
seen a little bit.
We had our own versions of these.
Yeah.
So it's worth going back to this, though. It's definitely worth it. Having gone further on from there and seen a couple of the other ones, they haven't been as good yet.
Yeah.
And I think I did really struggle with the third one. I can't remember what it's called, but still want to watch the last two, though, the fourth and the fifth one, although I've heard that they just continue to kind of diminish in quality.
Give them a watch.
Give them a watch. You never know. One of them's got
like
Liam
it.
Neeson in it, so I'm excited about
What?
that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's decent.
But
like
yes,
that.
that's Dirty Harry, just on Netflix.
Dirty Harry.
What do you got,
Netflix.
Nicholas?
I am going to... I don't have anything. I really don't have anything. I've got nothing. Shit. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm going to pick something that I don't think that I've spoken about before, but I may have. So it is on SBS On Demand, Tyson.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it is called Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh, no way.
I love that movie. It's in the same vein as and the reason that I love it is it's sort of that Christopher Guest style.
Is it really?
Yeah. The talking heads.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
To the screen type documentary, mockumentary style comedy, which starring Kirsten Dunst.
Denise Richards is in that, I believe.
Denise
as well.
Richards, yeah, that's correct. Is it Kirstie Alley? I could be wrong there. Bear with me one sec. But the reason you're watching it is because of Alison Janney. You're watching it because of her, because she is fucking amazing, and I love her. Academy Award winning. Denise Richards, Kirsten Dunst, Helen Birkin. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Theo in it. Yeah, Kirstie Alley. Yeah, that's what I thought. It is based around a beauty pageant and the messed up shit that happens around a beauty pageant. Obviously in a small town. Black comedy in parts. Some of the stuff is messed up. Like
it is a bit, isn't it?
It's so good. One of my favorites is and I say it all the time to Sam, is the because I've got a son now. In that, when it goes through it shows you a little bit of the family life of each of the contestants.
Yeah.
And one of the contestants is Asian American, and her family is strict Japanese, and they're
right.
like, and their daughter, who they have adopted, who is American, is in their pageant, and their biological daughter, who is studying in the background, is like, Mum, can I go outside? No, when are you doctor? Are you doctor? Talk to me when you're doctor.
Isn't that family? That's a Family Guy gag.
They use it
I
from
like
that.
it.
It's gold.
Good.
I love it. So good. Shut up. Oh, so good. So many funny parts in this movie. I'm not going to mention them all. And it's one of the ones that you forget how funny it is. That's why.
Yeah, I don't think it was super well
on.
received when it first
gold,
came out.
man.
But I remember having a good laugh. I can't tell you anything about it anymore. I remember
so
nothing
good.
about it.
Exactly.
But I remember it being, not particularly well received, except it being super popular at the video store. Like, people always asking for it.
Exactly. Yeah. And there was a reason. It was gold. Drop Dead Gorgeous. It is on SBS On Demand.
SBS On Demand. You don't even need to pay for it, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's on something else though. I think it's on other streaming services. I just want to quickly check. But yeah.
Well, it's
Kirsten Dunst,
SBS On Demand. It's free, just with some cheeky ads here and there, and you are supporting independent broadcasting.
Did I hear?
Is SBS still independent?
It is.
Good.
SBS On Demand. Yes, that's true. Did I hear that Netflix is getting ads soon?
No.
Did I
So
hear that
what they
correctly?
are testing on I think some memberships in the States is a commercial between episodes of shows.
Oh.
So while it's doing that thing that it always does where it shows a trailer for a different show, perhaps using that space for a commercial, I
fair
believe.
deal. I would like...
Which I think is skippable, though, the same way that anything else is. Yeah.
Okay.
So people,
Skippable
everyone's a bit up in arms, and it's kind of like, hey, I think it's okay, guys. Like,
as long as it's one time,
it's not actually
but
interrupting your actual watching.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. I forgot where I was going to go then.
Well, here's the thing, you said. No, it's gone. Okay.
No, it's definitely gone.
Let's wrap it then.
Yeah, fair deal.
Hey, Nick, why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen where they can find our
ladies and
little
gentlemen,
show?
It is a little late in the evening, but if you would like to share, geez, it's late.
Subscribe?
Subscribe, that's a word.
Poke? Can you still poke?
Please don't poke us. We're too fucking old and grumpy
wave,
for that shit.
Wave at us.
Wave
that's
at us. That's a thing. Give us a wave. Yeah, go, hey, what's up? You can do that on most of the places where
pretty much all the standard social medias.
Yeah, and social medias
and
as well.
Yeah, where you can get all your podcasts.
Exactly.
Of course.
We
get on iTunes, of course.
Exactly. iTunes, you can rate, star, review, share us all in there.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Write a review.
Yeah,
give it a shot.
love it.
We've had one extra one that I was like, oh, that was cute.
I love reviews.
It's kind of long.
Oh, that's really nice.
But apart from that, we are on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram. If you would like to dog us out on YouTube, I just made up that word. But
no, I like it. Dog us out.
Dog us out. Tell us that we're shit.
Do it.
Tell us that no, you got it wrong.
Give us a hard
time.
The
best Steven Seagal movie is Tyson. Pick a random from 2000s.
From the 2000s.
Go on.
Oh, what's that one? Fire Down Below. There you go.
The Glimmer Man.
Oh, the Glimmer Man.
Yeah. Tell us that we got it wrong. Tell us the reasons why you think that Tommy Lee Jones was better.
Do it. We'd love to hear from you.
But you can do that on Nick Tyson videotape at gmail.com.
You can indeed. Next week, Nicholas.
Tice, what are we going to do? We're going to leave it random. Leave it random.
We'll decide and we'll let the people of the world know.
Exactly.
Which we said we'd do this week as well, and we didn't do that. But
that's true. Oh, we didn't. No. Well, that's because
it's
there's only one
for everybody.
Only because it's one. Normally, I do it with the posters on Instagram.
Of course.
But because there's no one's doing cool art for Undersea.
No, nobody.
No way. No one.
That's a shame.
The day that we do Jaws. Fuck no.
Oh yeah, we're in luck.
Let's do Jaws.
No, let's not do Jaws.
Okay, fair deal. Because that's a nice sit-in, and we want to do that properly.
Yeah,
and
we got to
Tyson
do it
is
properly.
very, very busy.
Yeah, well, we will post something to the socials. But until then, that was a fun episode, Nick. I hope everyone had a good time.
I hope you had a giggle.
I hope you did have a giggle.
A giggle
indeed.
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you next week.
Okay.
See you, bud.
Bye.